Ember's phoenix familiar, Ashley, trilled and made her tail feathers burn brighter. Kit could always count on Ember to be confident and passionate. Whenever the group seemed to be falling apart, Ember kept them together with her upbeat, go-getter attitude and good leadership skills. Kit had no idea how Ember always stayed so positive. Sometimes, to Kit, it was like Ember was speaking a totally different language. But it made sense that Ember would be a guiding light, figuratively and literally, in the creeptacular forest. Kit climbed over some high roots. She looked at her hand, then around the woods.
"Hello?" Kit called. "Are there any mythical beasts out there who would like to show their face right about now?"
Nothing. Then again, after seeing Marina, Ember, and Hailey's harrowing journeys to bond with their familiars, Kit didn't think it'd be that easy. It was hard to believe it had been 8 weeks since pairing day. In some ways, it seemed like time was moving at a glacial pace, since Kit still didn't have a Mythie. On the other hand, so much had happened since pairing day. Marina found Kraken and water powers, Ember found her phoenix, Ashley, and fire powers, Hailey found her dragon, Sherbet, and wind powers. And, as a group, they'd found Golden Jumpsuit, who had a power of her own. Something that caused Hailey and Sherbet to lose all their energy, something Kit thought was physically impossible. They'd lost track of Golden Jumpsuit after the snowy battle on Mount Ferglaw 3 weeks ago, and they hadn't heard a peep from her since. But certainly, Golden Jumpsuit would turn up again. Kit was sure of that. An owl let out a startling, "Hoo!" and Marina shrieked.
Sorry,
Marina said.
"I just wasn't expecting that." "We're expecting a monster," Kit said. "An owl should be a hoot by comparison."
Marina flashed a watery smile.
"What monster are we expecting in the woods?"
Ember asked. Kit shrugged. She'd had weeks to think about what her familiar would be, and she still hadn't come up with an answer. She sighed whenever she thought about it. Kit tried to keep her cynical, bad thoughts at bay, but sometimes they just crept in. But she had tools to cope, like a very sharp tongue. With humor, she could laugh, even when she felt like the opposite. Humor made everything feel better, especially when things were tense, sad, or scary. Like now.
"I feel like I'm playing hide-and-go-seek,"
Kit said. She followed her arrow around a shrine of stones on the ground. Best not to disturb that. Her grandparents had warned her plenty about forest spirits.
"Okay, I give up. Ollie oxen free."
Her voice echoed through the forest, before the silence snapped back.
"Is Woodside Timbers always so quiet?"
Pippa whispered.
"It isn't, actually," Kit said. "The forest is usually full of noises."
Marina squeaked.
"Something must be scaring the other animals away." "It's actually better this way," Kit said. "If you think the silence is spooky, you should be here when twigs snap and leaves rustle all around you."
Even though Kit had grown up here, if she could make a list of the top 10 spookiest places in Terrafamiliar, the forest would be number 1 on the list. Though a close second would be Bernadette and Darius's musty home lair in Splashside Falls. Kit's earliest memory was getting lost in Woodside Timbers. She'd gone in at sunset to forage mushrooms to surprise her grandfather. But then she couldn't find her way out. Little Kit had scurried around the forest, frantically calling for help, but no one came. Not for hours. Eventually, her grandmother found her, with scraped knees and a tear-stained face. And as they walked home, Kit trembled as she tightly held Grandma's hand. Her grandmother tried to make the forest friendly again, but Kit couldn't be protected anymore. She knew the truth. The world was not such a safe place, and sometimes you were on your own, dealing with the worst of it.
"I found something!"
Hailey shouted from several trees away.
"Come look!"
Kit, Marina, Ember, and Pippa scrambled over roots. Hailey was proudly holding open a bush.
Hailey?